always like Grand Central Station.
I'm a board certified internal medicine hospitalist, and I love to get in my closet and play dress up. In today's vlog, I'm going to take you with me. I have a couple of errands to run. I need to go return some apples to Costco. Not exciting, I know. And I also probably need to figure out what we're going to eat for dinner tonight. It is a Sunday afternoon. It is almost 3 o'clock. And yeah, I am enjoying a glass of zero alcohol sparkling wine made by Good Twin. This is not a sponsored post, but it could be. But before I go, I want to talk to you about why I have sort of pivoted into creating fashion content. So I know historically I am known as the food is medicine, maybe even potentially a fitness influencer. I had several brand partnerships and things that I participated in 2018 to 2020. I had grown a following on Instagram. Unfortunately, that account got hacked a few years ago, or a couple years ago now. And I kind of saw that as an opportunity to start fresh. So then I started sharing information about insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and how to reverse it with nutrition over on TikTok. But then about 6 months ago, I basically decided to pivot into fashion. And the reason I decided to pivot into fashion was because nutrition got too heavy. Just sharing the information that I would share required a ton of research. I was saying it is not, and it's not necessarily widely accepted by the medical community, which if you know anything about doctors, we have a tendency to not learn about nutrition in medical school. But if you know anything about chronic diseases, then you also know that the root cause of many chronic diseases is diet and lifestyle. So basically, it required a lot of research. I read a lot of books, read a lot of research papers. I even invested in multi-level marketing, where they basically used fiber supplements to help people to reverse insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, lower their blood sugar, lower their cholesterol, reverse high blood pressure. It was a great product, but multi-level marketing thing just didn't really, I just didn't want to feel like I had to sell all the time because I'm not a very salesy person. So the creating around nutrition just wasn't, it was becoming too heavy for me. And I also felt like that because I don't suffer from insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, I didn't know how to speak the same language. So sometimes I would just kind of be very blunt. And unfortunately, I could not resonate with that particular cohort of people who, while my advice was very necessary and could have been very helpful, I just couldn't resonate. So it just became like the research and staying on top of things and making sure that everything that I said was in line with, the truth and what the research said, because people would come for me. I won't say people came for me. That's not necessarily true. People would just unfollow me because they felt like what I was saying was a little too radical. Although I predict that in the next 5 years, what I used to preach and teach will become mainstream. So I'm fully confident that that information is going to be mainstream and it's going to be a part of regular medicine. That being said, the fashion part, where did that come from? For about 10 years now, I've been watching bloggers, fashion bloggers, YouTubers over on YouTube or on this platform basically. And I pretty much stopped watching TV and just started solely consuming YouTube content, primarily British fashion influencers and bloggers. And for a long time, I watched them and I kind of wanted to do the same thing. I thought, well, if they're able to create a career and a living out of doing this, like, why can't I? But I never allowed myself to do it because I always sort of told myself that it wasn't meaningful. And that kind of goes back to some of my childhood trauma, which we're not going to get into in this particular episode. But basically, I've been watching people do this for years and thinking, well, I can do that too. Like, these people, they're not brilliant. They're super fancy about, the things that they're doing or the clothes that they're wearing. I can do the same thing. So about 6 months ago, I allowed myself to just start playing around in my closet. Actually started playing in my husband's closet, and I put on a black button up and I wore it as a dress, and then I posted it on social. And that's kind of where it all began. I've started to kind of gain traction over on TikTok with the fashion content. I decided to be consistent with creating YouTube videos. And I've been consistent with that for the past like 6 to 8 weeks or so. So yeah, that's basically what it is. If you know me, you know that I'm all hashtag positive vibes, and I want genuinely to help people. So the nutrition stayed too heavy. It became overwhelming. I started to feel defeated and down and depressed, and that was not a good look for me. The fashion stuff, it's just another avenue, in my opinion, to help people and to help women feel confident in their skin, get the most out of their wardrobe, and really be encouraged and empowered to style themselves and to find things and wear things that make them feel great. So it's just another way for me to help people. And fortunately for me, it's an easier road. I don't have to do as much research and make sure that every single word that I say is on point. I get to just dress up, literally play dress up, play around with outfits, and then I get to share them. And I get to share all some of the things that I've kind of been through on my own capsule wardrobe creation journey, which actually started some years ago. Literally, when I moved here to Hawaii is when it kind of started. But identifying what style I like, what style makes me feel good, identifying cuts of clothing and fabrics and things that make me feel good. And basically, I share that. I also, over Christmas holidays, I was able to help one of my friends clear out her closet. And she even sends me pictures and photos every day when she puts an outfit together. So it's definitely inspiring someone. So for me, that's enough. So that's it. That's why I do fashion.
This place is always like Grand Central Station. It's like people everywhere all the time, and it's 10 times worse because it's spring break. Ugh. I don't know if you can hear me on that last clip, but I was basically saying that Costco is always like Grand Central Station. I feel like it's not just like that on Maui. It's pretty much like that everywhere. The one we used to go to all the time in Sugarland, it was pretty bad. I think the one in Pearland just wasn't as bad. But anywho, basically, I finally got out of the house, and I dropped off my apples. I'm about to go get takeout because I don't feel like cooking. And my kids are pretty much couch potato break, and they're basically binge watching a TV show. So nobody was interested in getting out of the house with mom today. So yeah, I basically said, stay on the couch, finish this freaking show. When I get back, I can Housewives of Atlanta. Cause even though I say I don't watch TV, I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. A whole 24 hours. Sorry about that. I just finished a 5-hour Zoom meeting, and I'm a little tired. But somebody has to go to track. Hey. They probably want to see you though. Oh. So when I finish dropping him off, I'm going to take you with me or prepare for 3 days on the inpatient service. While I was editing this video, I recognized that I lost some footage. This is the point where I was going to walk you through the steps that I take to prepare for 12-hour inpatient shifts. Preparation includes me reviewing patient charts and also making sure that my scrubs and white coat are all clean, and meal prepping for my kids so that they have food to eat while I'm working 12-hour shifts. 2 days later, I'm about to start hospitalist shift number 2 in the next 15 minutes or so. And I've done a pretty terrible job of vlogging, I think. Unfortunately, I've had one of those weeks where, like this past week, where my energy was just low, my creativity was super low. I just didn't have any energy. So I wanted to circle back though and talk about why content creation is important to me. Number one, it's something that was placed on my heart. And anything is placed on your heart, you owe it to yourself and the rest of the world to explore it. So I think that's important. Also, I feel like it's an alternate avenue for me to help people. Just by making these fashion videos, I've taught people things that I assumed they already knew, kind of as a creative outlet for me.
But what it showed me was that you can't assume that everybody already knows it if you know it. Definitely something that will hold you back in life. I say that to encourage you to not make assumptions, also to explore those things that have been placed on your heart, because I firmly believe they've been placed on your heart for a reason. And I believe that it's your sort of higher self or God speaking to you, encouraging you, or to share your gifts, talents, services with the world. Excuse me, I need to dab my eyes. I'm not crying. I think it's pretty sad that it took me, what did I say, 10 years? I started watching people doing this about 7 to 10 years ago. And so basically, I spent years basically trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, so to speak. And I tried to contort medical education into content, and it didn't flow. And while I was able to reach a few people and potentially help change the lives of a few people, it didn't have the impact that I anticipated or planned, right? And I think the reason is because it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. And I'm not saying that medical education or nutrition education specifically is not something that I will in the future. However, not something that content creation part of it is not something that gives me energy, fuels me, lights me up, gets me excited to turn the camera. Girl, when I start playing around in my closet and dressing up, when I start messing around with my hair, I don't know if you noticed, but the light up happens. But I feel this confidence, and I want other people to be able to get dressed or put on makeup. It makes them feel like they can't lose and feel confident in their skin and ready to conquer their world. That's truly what my ultimate goal is. I want you to feel great. I want you to look great. And then eventually, because of who I am, the nutrition, education, the wellness medicine, it's going to come out because it's in there. So especially for those of who are sort of willing to accept it, you know what I mean? So rather than me trying to force it on, naturally, genuinely believe that I will build a community of women who have similar interests and who can sort of feed off of each other, support one another, love on each other, and eventually something will come out in terms of wellness medicine, nutrition, and I think I'm going to be okay with that. Rather than me trying to force it, I'm going to go with the flow, stick to what feels good and what makes me excited to get up and film or get dressed or whatever. And yeah. So to answer your question, when did I start doing fashion? Well, I started dabbling with it a long time ago and wanted to start creating content ago. But I guess, hi, I'm Dr. Tanya. I'm a board certified internal medicine hospitalist, and I love to get in my closet and play dress up. And I want to help you make your closet work for you and help you to look and feel your best so that you feel able and ready to conquer the world. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to work on my elevator pitch and everything, but you get the gist of it. So yeah, I need to go to work. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay, bye.